got charity, I influence the people around me in a positive way. It can be whatever you define it as. But it's got to be compelling enough for you. And from one thing that I've realized, it only ever becomes compelling, not only for if it's for yourself, but it's for other people around you. If you're doing something just directly for yourself and what you can learn through it, and it fails. It fails every single time. You'll get to a certain point and you're not going to be happy because it doesn't give. There's something about humanity where we get this weird rush of endorphins that when we give, it drives us.
We're social creatures. We're herd animals.
Absolutely. And I think whatever you want to achieve, always look at it. If I achieve this, what does this allow me to give? Because if you look at what does this give for me, you're going to fall short, or you're going to hit it and you're going to be really depressed.
So let's put it this way, that it's not so much about, because I think a lot of people might get conflicted because there's there's so much word saying like, don't worry about what other people are saying, do it for yourself, follow your dreams, fuck all the others, don't let the haters get to you, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think that's necessarily that can be taken in the wrong way, that somebody might say, well, fuck all of you. But at the same time, I think the way I see it idealistically is that what it's more about is you need to fill your tank up first so that you have the energy to give more
To others.
out to others, and to be and then being more specific, because then somebody will say, well, that's just justifying you wanting to take everything, because then you'll give, and then you'll be the 1% to take everything and give a little bit. But then I'm talking idealistically, and being honest with yourself, is it's like that, like what you're saying with your business idea. It's maintain that 10% or maintain that 20% or whatever you feel is enough, and go forward with that.
You have to. You absolutely have to. But remember, you get more energy the more you give. So it's a vice versa thing. If you fill up your tank first, you start to drain your tank at the same time. If you can fill your tank up at the same time while you're giving, you're going to get so much more than you ever expect.
Because you're going to receive, it's going to be a cycle.
Absolutely.
Because somebody who's received will be compelled to then give back. That the pay forward.
It's a pay forward method.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that one person is going to give it back. Just remember, give without wanting anything back. Give in secret is probably the best way to put it. Don't ever expect anything back. Give it just because you want to give it. Don't expect anything back from it, and you will receive 3 times the amount, not from that one person, because some people will just take.
Don't get the ego involved.
Don't get the ego involved. That's cool. Just give, and give for the right reasons. And the right reasons is you don't want anything back. It's just you actually are giving without expectations. When you give without expectation, you receive it back, but don't ever expect it back, even from one person. It can come from random places. And that's going to continue to drive you. It's going to create a compelling vision for you, because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others and yourself, because you're going to learn through it. But all of a sudden, these other people will come to you and going, "Dude, thank you so much," or you've changed my life," or "You've done this," and all of a sudden, that's going to have more of an impact than a dollar figure ever will. That will be the influence that's going to keep driving you, and it's going to keep filling your tank up. Because what better tank do you want than somebody going up to you and going, "Hey, I love what you've done. I thank you so much. You've changed my life around." What better can fill up your tank than something like that? Or someone who can say, "Hey, you've helped my business grow to such an extent that I've been able to look after my family. I've been able to do this X, Y, and Z." That will fill up your tank more than anything else ever will. And when you don't give, you're never going to receive something like that back. If you're expecting it back, you're not going to get it back either. So it's a fearful thing to give without expecting anything.
How do we hold on to these ideas in a world where we're confronted with this whole idea that there is this whole postmodern idea, I think, if I'm getting it right, that there's no everything's an interpretation, therefore there's no right or wrong. You have the freedom to do whatever the hell you want, choose whatever you want, You know, how do we, amongst all of that, still maintain that quality of character? You know, how do we hold on to that?
That's a tough question. It's, I think, first by defining character. I mean, even the definition of word of character, it's chiseling away at something.
It's a bit of a, like, the virtue ethics.
Yeah.
Touches on that.
It's, character is not something that you're born with, it's something you chisel away at. So it's not the quality of character that you're holding onto, but it's actually what kind of character do you want, and start to chip away some of the characteristics that you have that you don't want. Get rid of and keep the basic ones. It's a lot harder to stick stone on stone than to chip stone away. If that makes sense. So try and get rid of the characteristics that aren't holding to those virtues, that aren't holding to that quality, that aren't holding to the life that you don't want. Get rid of them. Just get rid of those characteristics. And what you'll find, the only things that you're left with are the positive ones. The ones that serve others, the ones that serve yourself, the ones that empower you, that inspire you, that create the life that you want. A lot of times it's about saying no, not yes. And sometimes it's got to make really, really tough decisions, because it's the tough decisions that grow that character. You can never say that you've ever had a moment in your life that was easy that you've grown from. You will never have it. It's when you make really, really tough decisions. It's those moments of truth. What do I actually stand for? I know I don't want to do it, but what do I actually stand for? And you make that really tough decision. And when you make that tough decision, you grow from that. And if you look at personal relationships, it can be from, if you look at a partner, it can be from, you know, hey, let's begin, let's end, this isn't working. If you're looking for a family member, hey, I don't stand for what you're saying anymore. I don't believe in that, but I'm not going to give you the power over me. If you're looking at business, you can go, well, this isn't really a characteristics of the business that I want to be a part of. This 9 to 5 isn't serving for me, or it is serving me, or I don't stand by the values of this company anymore, so I need to leave. It's when we don't make those decisions, it's when we become incredibly depressed. But when we do make those decisions, and everyone's made those decisions in their life, is when we start to create our own character, the character what we actually stand for, and we start to chisel away at the things that we don't want. And that's when we're going to create a life that we want and that you feel happy with, and the one that compels you. But it's those tiny moments, and they tend to be brief moments in your life that shape you. It's those moments of truth that create the life that you want.
So it's a matter of just face your experience, just do it, take the step, forget the fear, deal with it. If it's gonna go wrong, just deal with it. Get rid of the fear, because you never know until you really take that step. And quite often, you know, if you're coming from the right place, I don't want to say if you're coming from the right place, because that's extremely subjective, but if you're coming from a place that is somewhat benevolent in a sense, if you're trying to not do harm, if you just, you know, just be a good person, put something good out there, then generally you're always going to be taking the right step. But just do it. I think there's a lot of fear that comes with just doing the good thing.